All right, so I just started recording this. So, all right, what I want to let you guys know before we actually start, okay, is that what I am doing is I just put out 2 different documents out on doc sharing. It is a crashing explained, and then also there is a crashing problem out there as well. I put the solution out there too for you guys. What I would obviously do if I were you is go through the crashing explained kind of slides initially and use it as a presentation, so kick it off initially and then use it as a regular presentation to kind of go through it and kind of show you step by step how to actually kind of go through the whole crashing, because what actually happens, right? So if you look at this first page here, and you guys will have this in every single project you're going to be on as a project manager or even as a team member, right? You may have 27 weeks as the duration of your project, right? Well, something happens and you have to get it done in 20 weeks. How do you do it, right? And just not how do you do it, but then what is the most cost-effective way to do it as well? And so that's where you're going to kind of go through this week in crashing, and then the earned value is going to be afterward. But the crashing, this is a really good, I think, way for you guys to learn how to actually to do crashing. I've gotten some really good feedback, on these slides from other classes as well. So, again, go through this as well. There's a crashing problem out there to kind of go through, if you will. And then I put the solution out there as well. But again, I'd go through the tutorial, the problem first, and then the solution to see if you actually did it right. Because then you're going to have to kind of go through, here is the homework. So you're going to have 2 crashing problems, which are very easy. You can kind of see the network diagrams that are up here, and you're going to. So I've kind of set up the AIB for you for the most part, but now you're just going to have to figure out what your critical path is, right? And then go back and figure out then, all right, well, which ones do you actually crash? Based on the cost, right? Because the ones that actually cost less are the ones you really want to crash, right? You're not going to want to crash something that actually costs more money because it's going to cost more in the project, right?
Then I can save that.
So I explain it very well. Okay, then we're going to get it. You guys have to go into earned value. So what I would do, all the formulas are in your book. It is simple mathematics. It really is. Then I would just take these, put these in Excel, put the formulas in Excel, and then put the values in there, and then you're easily going to be able to answer each of these problems. I mean, seriously, not one person should get one of these problems wrong. I mean, seriously, it is. I mean, this is 3rd grade math that's in here, and the formulas are already given to you. So it's just plug and play. Really? It's that simple. But then what you have to do, right? At least on 2 of these, is given the data, what would you do? Because it's one thing to actually to do the problems, right? But also as a project manager, you have to understand if this data is presented to you, and you're showing that maybe you're behind schedule, you're over cost. Then what? What do you do? So, I mean, that's where the decision comes into, and that's where you guys kind of have to figure out then, right? And just talk. All you have to do is just talk about it, and I think in your discussion so far, everyone has done a pretty good job at explaining really what earned value is, and what really cost and schedule variances are as well. So, any questions on that, David, Anika? You guys pretty straightforward with that?
Yes.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, so let's get into the project we have to do. All right. So as I told everyone, I sent you guys an email out today. I'm going to send you guys the project solution for week 3. Okay. This is for everyone who's actually doing the CAN project. If you're not doing the CAN project, okay, well, you're still going to have to put in fixed costs, right? And you're still going to have to give your labor resources, some sort of labor rate, right? Because people are working for free. I know, too bad, right? But because then we'd actually bring our projects in on time, but it just doesn't happen, right? So let's kind of go through this a little bit. Now I'm going to show you guys how to do this, for instance. All right. So remember, this is what I sent you guys last week through an email. It's also out in doc sharing. This is the updated course background, right? For weeks 3 and 4. All right. Everything that you need is in here.
Before I did it, actually, for my class,
all right. So fixed costs for each one of these. Now I'm going to show you how to put the fixed costs in. It is simple. All right. So for instance, create building design. All right. If we look at, here is the schedule that I sent you guys, right? Under create building design. Do you guys remember where that is? It's right here, right? It's your 1.17 element.
Yeah, so we download
There's so many multiple ways that you can actually get to this, okay? What I'm going to do, I'm going to open up the detail sheet underneath so you can kind of see. We're under costs here, okay? If you don't get to the cost, remember if you right-click in this gray area right here, if you're under predecessors or successors, right, you're seeing this, just right-click in here, and then you can see the cost, okay? But we can't enter fixed costs in this sheet. So what we can do, you can go into your tables here, right? And you can hit more tables and then go into cost. Or what you can do is easily just right-click in there when you're in duration, insert column. Remember, hit F for fixed cost and put in the fixed cost column. That's all you got to do. And then we're just going to enter the fixed cost in here by create building design. So let's go back and see what it was. So it was $32,000, right? All right. So if you go back to create building design, we're just going to put $32,000 in there. Pretty simple, right? And this is all you're going to do for each one of these. Hey, David, can you put yourself on mute? Thanks. And then you're going to do the same thing for procure site costs and just the rest of these tabs. The rest of these tabs, okay? So this is pretty simple. You put all these into your fixed costs, all right? Now, what you're going to have to do, you're going to have your variable resource list, right? So these are your resources, and these are the hourly rates. So remember, in week 1, you guys had to go into the resource sheet, right? All right, so I'm just going to hit resource sheet up here, right? Remember, everything right now has a standard rate of 0. Well, we know that's not right, right? Because people have to make money. So all we're going to do is then go into, like the facility specialist. He's making $21 an hour. So we're just going to put standard rate in here, $21 an hour. Project manager is at $32 an hour. All right, go back in here, project manager, $32 an hour, and so on. And as you see down here in the cost down here, we've already put the duration and everything else, right, in the Gantt view. So now it's just updating the cost for us in here. So then what you're going to have to do then afterward, I mean, this is why this week is actually pretty easy.
This is Microsoft Cost Week.
Hold on, I think I actually just lost something.
Oh man, people were still able to see what I was doing. Wow, I was so actually recording. I was doing it. Nice. Stuff down here. Like I said, I kept actually have to go back in into the residence and into my Wi-Fi. Connect, disconnect. Yeah, and everything else, and it's like, oh. It was such a pain.
Hey guys, you guys still there? David, you guys still there?
Got 5 minutes ago.
Hey David, can you hear me? I had a little technical difficulties there.
A little snack.
David, are you in mute?
I think you don't like the beer though.
Okay, cool. All right. So, where did I leave off on, David? Just let me know. Did you actually? Did everyone kind of get the fixed cost area? I kind of lost the connection there, and I had to go back in. So, I apologize about that.
If they're good.
All right. Let me just go through this again. So, let's go through the procure site cost, right? In case you didn't see that.
So
remember, all we're going to do, I'm going to go back into what? At the resource sheet. But we just want to be in the regular Gantt chart here, okay? Remember, you just got to bring in the fixed cost column by right-clicking in there, inserting the fixed cost column, and then we're going to enter the fixed cost for procure site cost. It's $216,000, okay? So we're going to enter that in here, $216,000.
Yeah, I mean,
all right.
His stuff basically falls off. I mean, it's that good. Wow.
That's all we have to do for when it comes to fixed costs. All right, so now we're going to go to the resource sheet. And I kind of already showed this to you. I'm not sure if you guys all saw this or not before I lost my connection before. But looks like I lost it again. So re-recording this at this particular point. So hey everyone, if you guys are viewing this, just let you know I apologize. Just having some technical difficulties where I'm at. So I'm just going to go over the standard rate real fast again through you guys in case you didn't get it. So, all right. So based on the homework, right? I already went through the fixed cost. Pretty simple, I would think. Now, under the variable resource list that I gave you guys last week as well, right? Remember, each one of our resources has an hourly cost associated to it. Facility specialist is $21, right? So how do we get to that, right? So I'm underneath that now, but if you're under the Gantt chart, just go underneath the View tab or Resources, right? And you can go to Team Planner under Resource Sheet or wherever you want to go. If you're under View, just go to Resource Sheet. And under the standard rate, this is where we are going to put the rate for each of our resources, right? So for Facility Specialist, for instance, right? It's $21. All right, so we're going to put $21 for that. If you look down here, see how the costs already come up for this person down here, for the facility specialist? Because remember, we already have the duration of them put in our Gantt chart already in our schedule. So that's why it's popping up already. For PM, it's $32. Let's put that $32 in for PM. See how that just popped up there as well, right? And for project manager under. So, and then you're going to do it for each one of these, okay? And then let's go back to the Gantt chart, okay? You see all the fixed costs are here. What you're going to want to do is go to the table, okay, and go to the cost table, okay? This is under the View tab. So go to the. And you see now how we have total costs underneath here? You're going to use this to answer the questions, for the most part, on the course project. All right, because it's going to ask you, you know, what's your total budget for the project? What's your budget for the planning phase and the preparation phase, right? So this is why I asked you guys to use the solution that I gave you for week 3, because if you had it wrong, all your costs should be wrong as well. So everyone should be on equal footing that is doing the CAM project. Now again, if you are doing your own individual project, you know, there really is no right or wrong on this for the most part. But what I'm going to be looking for is to make sure that you do have some fixed costs, right? That goes back to your scope statement or project charter, and that all your resources also have some sort of resource cost allocated to it. But then you're going to have to answer the same exact thing, right? It may not be under the planning phase or preparation phase. You may have different phases, right? But I still want you to be able to answer what's the overall cost of your project, right? And what are some of the major phases, you know, in your project? What's the total cost for that, okay? So you still have to answer those. And then we're going to come down to number 4, right?
I have no idea.
As your project launches, what are the key performance indicators that you'll monitor and control? So really what we're talking about this week is what? Earned value. So those are some of the key performance indicators you're going to be doing, right? Schedule variance, cost variance, you know, cost and schedule index. That's what you're going to be really looking into. And then what I really want to know is why are they critical to manage during the project? What do they help you do? So that's why there's more points on number 4 than there is on the others. So this is really your course project for week 4. I mean, I think it's pretty easy, right? And then I already went over what the homework is. You know, again, just put all the formulas that you have in your book already, right? For for your cost variance, schedule variance, your indexes, and everything else. Put those into Excel, and just put these values in there, and you're going to come up with the answers are. So, and then like here, you have to answer, is your schedule variance ahead or behind a schedule? So remember, it's just like in school, right? If anything above 1 on your cost index, right? Because remember, your indexes are basically a percentage. So anything over 100 is good, right? It's like you're getting 101%. Anything under 1 or under 100, if you're getting like 0.95, well, it's not as good. So basically, you're behind. And then your variances, anything that's negative is bad, anything that's positive is good. Pretty self-explanatory, I think.
Look at something better over there.
All right, you guys have any questions at all? I'm going to take you guys all off mute here. David, any questions at all?
Right now.
No? But do you think that actually helped at all, or? Okay, Nick, you're good as well? All right, sweet. Well, there's only 2 of you guys this week, so hopefully everybody else will be able to get a lot out of this. David, you had a question?
No, I said I was good.
You're good too? Okay, cool. All right, well, hey, you guys have a good one. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, give me an email. And again, I apologize about the technical challenges we had tonight. All right, you guys have a good one.